Welcome back. At its most fundamental level, a client experience is the sum of every interaction that a client has with your business. From phone calls to office visits to navigating your website, an impression is made every time a client interacts with your brand. There's no single formula for delivering a great client experience, but there are a lot of elements to choose from as you find what works for you. With a few insights and best practices from an advisor who's delivering a great client experience, here's Andy Callbaugh.
Thank you, Sam. Throughout the day, we're going to dive deeper into the client experience and how to consistently deliver the kind of experience that can help you differentiate in your marketplace. We'll explore technology and capabilities that'll make it easier for you to engage with your clients. And we'll talk about the skills that we can help you develop to build stronger and deeper relationships with the people who rely on you for guidance and for advice. But before we do that, I want to share with you a story about an advisor who really brings all of this to life in a whole lot of different ways. Take a look at this.
I am Anasuya and I work at JK Wealth Advisors, Inc. in Houston, Texas. My parents started our firm, JK Wealth Advisors, over 30 years ago, and when I was in Chicago going to college there, they had approached me about joining the business. And at the time, I was young and wild and free, and I wanted to stay in Chicago. So I actually, funny enough, thought that moving back home and joining the business would be like taking a step back, or, I just didn't realize how much opportunity was in this business. I would say that the clients that my dad brought into the firm were very similar to him in that many of them came from very humble beginnings, and they maybe had come from their home country. And then the clients that I'm bringing in many of them are second generation. They're the kids of those clients, or they're, maybe came to this country a little bit more recently. So prior to COVID, the way we were engaging with clients was primarily through in-person meetings and in-person meetings in the office. Something that my dad really wanted to establish is clients need to come to our office and see the way we do business. We've started doing more webinars for our clients, and I think that's a great way to be able to share information. And like I said, give clients the opportunity to see us and hear from us. Staying in touch is really important to us because you never know how their lives are changing and what kind of implications that has for their financial planning as well. I just want to make sure that the impression and the experience they get when interacting with me is positive and productive and meaningful. At the end of the day, we want them to feel comfortable with how their wealth is being managed. Then they need to have as many opportunities as possible to ask their questions and share their concerns and, want to know what is going on and what does this mean for us. So I think that's really important.
Anasuya's story is an interesting one because she's the succession plan for her family's practice, bringing a next-gen perspective to the job, and she's doing some fascinating things in the client experience space. So to learn more about what she's doing, it's my sincere pleasure to welcome Anasuya to Focus Live. Anasuya, welcome. Thanks for joining us in your office in Houston. How are you?
Hi, Andy. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. And thank you again for helping us. Some of our advisors are grappling with the effectiveness of their communication when it comes to not having as many face-to-face meetings. Give us a little bit of your perspective, talk around the different methods you're using with your clients today.
Absolutely. So before COVID, we really enjoyed and preferred meeting with our clients in person. And then after COVID, everyone was going through such an intense period of change. So that forced us to make some changes on our approach as well. And so we first started with just sending weekly update emails to our clients just to share a little bit about what we thought was going on with the market volatility. And then after that, after a couple of emails, it just felt a little bit passive because you can only tell people to stay calm by email for so long. And so we really needed to get out in front of our clients and engage with them directly. So that's when we did a webinar to talk about some things to think about during market volatility. And then we had a question and answer session as well. And then throughout that whole time, we were also doing the old-fashioned strategy of calling our clients and just having those one-on-one conversations. And then as things calmed down and people started to get into a routine, we were able to get back into doing client meetings over Zoom. And I think it was really important for us to attack it from all angles in terms of getting in touch with our clients, because this was a tough time for our clients, and we needed to really step up and show up for them and let them know that we're going to be there through this tough time.
Yeah. Look, I liked your reference to old-fashioned phone calls. While it did make me feel a little bit older, though. How have your clients responded to this? Because I do know it's a new approach.
I think they really appreciate our efforts to reach out. We have to acknowledge that this has been a really stressful time for our clients in so many different ways. And so, I was really glad to just call our clients and check in on them the same way that you would a family member or a friend. Because at the end of the day, I think, my clients need to know that I care about their health and their well-being first and foremost, and then we can talk about the money. And I would say that it went a long way in building those relationships and that trust. And in fact, I had a client who, at the end of April, I was checking in on her, and she kind of surprised me and turned the conversation on us and said, Anasuya, I am really proud of you because I know this is a tough time for your firm too, but I really appreciate the way you've been checking in on us and sending those emails and, learning about what's going on in our lives. And we just really appreciate how much you're taking care of us. And that was just such a validation of all of our efforts.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you express that with incredible empathy and compassion, and I'm sure that goes a really long way with all of your clients. When it comes to the communication and engagement, though, do you notice a difference in preference among any of your clients? I mean, does it vary by age or demographics? What do you think?
Yeah, sure it does. Our older clients, they took a little bit of time to get used to Zoom, but now they are total pros. And then our younger clients, they were used to it from before. And so that was pretty quick to get up and running. I would say the conversations are quite different too. With our older clients, they've been with our firm for many years, and so they really trust our approach. So I think we spend more of the time just talking about how their life is looking like right now, and then we end with a status update on all of the accounts. And then for our younger clients, they really haven't been through that market volatility with us before. So it's really important to offer that client education part and just help them understand some of those investor behaviors, that behavioral finance side of it, and remind them of that long-term perspective they need to take when it comes to investing.
Yeah, that's great. Let me change the subject just a little bit. Some advisors have referenced that they're struggling a little bit closing business in this digital environment. Have you been able to close business on Zoom, and how are you thinking about it, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm happy to say that we have been able to bring in some business during these past couple of months. And we've worked with a coaching program to help us upgrade our experience. And what I've learned from that is that, everybody is using Zoom right now. But when it comes to that first meeting with a prospect, how are you building that environment, that intimate environment that makes them feel like it is 100% focused on them? And so we've changed our approach in that way where we, focus the first conversation on learning about them, and then maybe spend a little bit of time at the end to talk about our process and our approach. But those prospects really understand what we're thinking about and what we do for our clients based off of the quality of the questions that we're asking. And then, in the next meeting where we're offering our recommendations, we know how to frame it. So every recommendation is related and connected to what is important to that prospect and what they want to achieve with their wealth. And so what we find is that, I had this I had this new client who is a doctor tell me that he really appreciated all of the analysis before the diagnosis. And so by changing up our approach a bit, we've been able to find some success during this time too.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I love the approach, and I also applaud the fact you're making some changes to the process. It's really cool to see. Look, it takes a lot of time and effort to do the engagement with the clients that you just described in all these different ways. Is this the new normal for your practice?
You know, I think for the time being, we'll have to stick with Zoom or virtual meetings, but we really appreciate that opportunity to meet our clients in person. I really feel like there's no better space for us to build that connection and relationship. So I do hope that we are able to get back to in-person meetings soon.
Yeah, I'm with you. I can't wait for in-person again. Nothing will replace that human interaction. I am hearing advisors say that clients may not want to come back into the office. What does the average client think about in-person versus digital? And when do you encourage them for having that face-to-face meeting, and when is it okay to just do the digital?
Yeah, I think when it comes to like check-in updates or status updates on the accounts, nothing too technical. That's very easy to do over Zoom. But I do have clients that are in more complex situations. For example, I have business owners that have had to shut down their business for months because of COVID, or clients that their parents are in nursing homes or memory care centers and they haven't been able to see their parents in months. And those are really tough conversations to have. And I would really love to be able to do that in person so I can just show that I feel their pain. And so I think this is why we like to meet with our clients in person. It's when we want to have those tough, intimate conversations with them.
Yeah, that's terrific. Look, one question. What have you learned through all this that surprises you?
Yeah, I think COVID has really forced everyone to slow down. Most of my clients now are not traveling as much. They're not socializing as much. They're staying at home. And so I actually find it's a little bit easier to get a hold of them. And, this is a great time for us to just get to know our clients better. And so I've actually been pulling our clients aside and just talking to them for an hour or so and just learning about their experiences and where they are in this stage of their life. And I'm actually really surprised. Like, I really thought I knew my clients well. And then I find out that they have this other passion or, that there's this worry about a family member in the back of their mind. And they never really expressed that to us. But it does affect their financial planning too. And so I just really appreciate that time, those moments of reflection that we've been able to have with our clients and just continue to get to know them better.
That's terrific. Well, hey, look, Anasuya, congratulations on what you've built. I'm sure your clients are delighted to have a caring, compassionate person like yourself managing out over their well-being and their finances. Thank you so much for spending this time with us and sharing your insights with us today. We look forward to seeing what comes next for you. And please, if you will, tell your parents that we said hello as well, who I know are watching this, and hopefully will be surprised by the interview. So thank you, and as always, thank you for the business. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Take care, guys.
Take care. The client experience has never been more important than it is today. And without question, digital engagement is here to stay. Clients want the convenience of it, and you should look at it as a way to optimize your time. But don't forget the human side of engagement. No matter what tool or channel that you're using, be sure to stay connected, to solve problems, to help build community within your client base, and remind them exactly why they put their trust in you.